I am Jay with Becoming Jay, and I guess I will tell you a little bit about myself. This is my first scope, so bear with me. It's going to be rough. It's real, and what you get is what you get. So, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am a mom of two. I have a 9-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter, and they are my why. I've been overweight almost my entire adult life. And I've done every fad diet you can think of. I used to be pretty athletic when I was younger, and I developed a medical problem called Osgood-Schlatter. And at the time, when I was diagnosed with it, there was not a lot of information about it or how to treat it. And so the treatment that they gave me was to not do anything high impact. Don't take the stairs, don't run, stop dancing, no more track, no more soccer, just take the elevators and try not to hurt yourself. So, as a teenager, and body's changing and everything, the weight just kind of piled on, and it's spiraled since then. I know it's stinky, but hey, that's what happens. So I'm grateful that they know more about it now, so that children that are diagnosed with it today don't have to go through the same thing, that I went through. But so I have been on a weight loss journey off and on for years, and I started my Instagram page a couple of years ago to kind of keep me accountable. That was my main purpose, was just I've started and stopped and started and stopped, and life's got in the way. And I wanted to have a forum where I was somewhat anonymous at the time, and I was accountable. People were expecting me to check in. They might not know who I was, but they were following me, and they knew, okay, you're not working out. Where are you? What are you doing? So I started that, and of course life got in the way and I fell off, and I'm back, restarting my journey. So, that's a little bit of my backstory. Eventually I'll go into a deeper scope, but as to my story and what all has happened and what's led me to this. But I had a moment today. It really kind of started last week. I had a couple of sudden losses in my family, and it really makes you step back and evaluate where you are and what you're doing. And I made a promise to these family members that I would do what I needed to do to get myself in a place where I could take care of myself and my children and their children, because they can't. They don't have a choice in the matter anymore. And so last night I went to my son's dojo, the night before. I went to my children's dojo, and one of the Sifus told me that her son was going to start personal training, and he's offering a promotion, and she just wanted to tell me. She didn't ask me if I wanted to do it, didn't ask me if I wanted to join. She just kind of put the information out there. So I went home and I thought about it, and it was a really good deal, and I've worked with him before, so I said, okay, maybe I'll go ahead and start with him. I was going to start at home doing my own home workouts and, just record them, but I said, well, I've worked with him. I know that, he's a good trainer. We work well together, so maybe that's the push I need. So I went in last night, and I told her, go ahead and schedule me. I wasn't going to start until next week, but it just so happened that the way she wanted me to schedule my rest days meant that I had to start Saturday. So we scheduled my first 1-hour training session Saturday. And so it's going to be 6 days a week for 40 minutes every day. And we're going to do that, from now until we don't have an ending date right now. Just we're going to see where it goes and how it goes. So that was the start of my stories. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to sign up to do that, and it just kind of got put in my lap. Yeah, very nice. So then last night I had a Skype with one of my rich friends, Miss Davina, and we started talking, and it was funny because one of the first things that she brought up to me was a conversation she had with somebody about health complications in treating obese people, when they're in the hospital, when they need any type of care in the hospital, whether it be an IV or a medical testing or anything, and how complicated obesity makes the job for the caregivers, these nurses and doctors. And so we discussed a little bit of my experience with that. And I promised her, that I was going to stay on track and, we're going to take care of this problem that I have. So today I get up, I take my kids to school like normal. I had to stop at the bank after I dropped them off. And I'm in California, Southern California, and we have gotten a ton of rain in the last couple of days. And so everything is still wet and saturated. And I'm not really thinking too much about it. The bank opens, I get out of my car, I step onto the curb, and let me backtrack. When you're my size, everything you do is calculated. So when I park, I want to make sure that I'm parking in a space where nobody's going to park right next to my door, because so many people park so close, and then I can't get in my car. And I don't know where this person is, and I could have to wait for an hour or ask a stranger, can you back my car out so I can get into my car? Like the most humiliating thing ever. So I always try and make sure I park next to a curb or park away where there are no other cars so I don't get stuck. Yeah, it makes everyday life a little more complicated. Nothing is just ever autopilot. So anyway, I parked next to the curb like I always do when I go to this bank, and I opened my door, stepped onto the curb, shut my door, and what I thought was, in a good mood, happy, jolly, cheery, I'm just going to walk on into the bank and get what I need to get and go on about my day, and I'm in the mood for breakfast, and what am I going to do? And as soon as my foot hit the grass, there was nothing but mud and water and slick grass, and I, slow motion, went tumbling down to the ground. And I'm on a busy main street. And I'm catty corner from my kids' school. Thankfully, school was already in, so none of the kids saw me fall because my son is already in this stage of, some days mommy embarrasses him just because she's mommy, And so I'm on the ground, and I'm in a sweatshirt and leggings. I'm on my hands and knees in mud, trying to figure out how in the world I'm going to get up. I have nothing to leverage myself up with. There's a young man that's standing in front of me that watches the whole thing, and I'm looking at his face as I'm going down because I'm seeing myself go down. And I know he sees the oh crap, yeah, exactly, oh crap on my face. Just, oh crap, what am I going to do? And he's looking at me like, oh crap, what do I do? And I don't blame him because he was a small guy. And I'm sure he's like, what, how can I help her? I don't even know what to do. And so he asked me if I was okay, and I said yes. And I was trying not to cry because I was so mortified. And hey, Jay, thank you so much for coming. It's been so long since I've seen you. Now you have to scope so I can see your lovely face. I did see your New Year's one, so I wanted to see more. But anyway, I'm sorry. So yeah, a couple seconds later, a few other people came by and said, are you okay? Are you okay? And a couple came, a husband and a wife, and he was like, here, honey, take my arm. I'm going to help you get up. Well, I have serious trust issues. I've never been one to let anybody help me up off the floor. I've always, even in my smaller size, I always felt like I'm too heavy. You can't help me get up. What are you going to do? We're going to fall. I'm going to hurt you. Absolutely not. Don't help me. Yeah. Hi. Hey, Melinda. How are you? Thank you so much. You must have got my text message. And so there were two men on either side of me, and I'm like, no, they're trying to help me up, but I can't trust myself enough to allow them to help me. And the whole time my foot is sliding in the mud behind me. I can't really get a good stance. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to get up off the ground. So, and my pants are falling down, and I have on leggings, and I'm like, my pants, and I have my purse, and I have a good amount of money in my purse. I don't want to let go of my purse because I'm afraid somebody's going to snatch it with my money, and I'm just like, it's a disaster. And so I'm like, okay, hold on, I got to get my pants. And he's like, oh, my wife will hold your pants up. Honey, grab her pants. And I'm just, humiliated, And I'm hearing people laugh as they drive by. I mean, because it's a scene, you know. And so I ended up sitting down on the ground, like Indian style. And I thought to myself, I have a bench in my trunk. I have a little fold-out bench that I carry, like, to tournaments and things like that with my kids because they compete in karate. So I told her, I said, you know what, I have a bench in my trunk. And the curb was so low to the ground, there was just no way I could get up from the curb, and it was too close to my car. And so I told her, I have a bench in my trunk. I said, can you please get the bench? She was like, yeah. So she brought the bench. They unfolded it. I was able to, you know, push up on the bench and get up. And before I thought about the bench, okay, I'll tell you. Let me backtrack a minute. Melinda, when I was at the bank and I was going, mud and water basically. I was getting out of the car to go into the bank, and I stepped on the grass, and the grass was slick because we've gotten a lot of rain, and it was so muddy. And I slipped and fell, hands and knees, in front of everybody on a busy street. Imagine we were back home and like I fell on Oliver, you know, just right there on the main street. So before I had thought about the bench, it had gotten to the point where the gentlemen were like, well, do we need to call a medic? Do we need to call the paramedics? And I'm just thinking, oh my God, I'm so fat that they have to call the ambulance to pick me up. Like, seriously, who does that? Who has to have EMS come pick them up off the ground? It's just, and I'm 35 years old. Like, it makes no sense. So I thought about the bench, got up, everything was fine. They asked me if I still needed them to call, you know, the medic. And I told them, no, I was fine. My knee hurts a little bit, and my elbow hurt, but I'm okay. So they helped me put my stuff back in my car, and I went into the bank covered in mud and everything. Finished my transaction. The nice lady that was in the front of the line told me to go in front of her. She saw what happened, knew I was there. She was like, just go, it's okay, because you were here first. So I went in, I finished my transaction, I got in the car, and I came home. Yeah, I know. What makes it even more sad, Yoga Davina, is that she was elderly. I should have let her go in front of me, you know, but she's like, no, honey, go. I'm like, okay, thank you. So yeah, I have mud and I have grass all over me, and I'm just like, I don't care. Excuse me, but forget it. I'm already embarrassed, you know, whatever. So exactly, a hot, muddy mess. So I got home, got upstairs, cleaned myself up, and I just started thinking, you know, it's funny how all of these elements have just kind of happened one by one, snowballing into pushing me into what I've been saying I need to do in the first place. And it's just day after day, something happening that's falling into place that's saying, look. And today, it wasn't necessarily anything falling into place, but it was just that reminder, like, you know, you have these people that want to help you. Here's this trainer. He's ready to work with you. You have the resources that you need. Are you going to keep making excuses and not do it and find a way to stay comfortable? Or are you going to fight through the pain and keep going? Because if you decide to give up, this is life. You know, it's going to be falls in public and medics having to be called and being the sideshow and, you know, your children being embarrassed of you and you not being able to have the life with them, you know, and for yourself that you want. So I just had to kind of share that story. It was really embarrassing. It was really humiliating, but I think it gave me that push that I needed, you know, to stop being comfortable and get it done. So it's not the beginning of my journey. It's a chapter in my journey, but it's the beginning of my full documentation and seeing where we go. No, I didn't break anything, not that I know of. I called my friend after and told her, and she was telling me to go get checked out. And I'm like, it doesn't hurt. And she's like, yeah, but I walked on a broke foot for 2 months and didn't know it. So I'll probably make an appointment just to get checked out, just to make sure. But I'm fine. My knee is sore. My elbow is a little sore, but, you know, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm going to be especially careful with my knee. So, you know, we have the steps at home. I was able to get up the stairs, you know, both flights when I got home. So I am. I promise. Ice and heat and elevating, and we have gymnastics tonight, but that's it. So I'm going to take it easy. But I start training on Saturday, so I probably am not going to scope before then. unless the universe so compels me to do so again. But I have my first training session at 10:30 Saturday, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's Skype so I can be me safety tips. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I definitely will do that tonight. I'll shoot you a message and we'll figure out a time that we can hook up. When I'm done here, I have to go run and get stuff ready. The little girl has gymnastics today, so. Oh, and you know what? I'm so afraid of those knee injuries because I know once you end up having to go in and get your meniscus repaired, nothing's the same. And my mom had one knee replacement, and I saw the recovery from that, especially with the weight on her, and it was horrific. So I'm thankful that my knees are intact thus far. And I'm trying to do this before I don't have them intact any longer, because I've heard it's just like back. Once you start operating on the back, it's never the same, and the same with your knees. So I'm trying to preserve them. I don't need any more falls, and yeah, they do suck. And Melinda knows, give me the tea, that I am usually the most clumsy person in our group. But for some reason, I've been able to avoid that. Yeah, no time like now. You're absolutely right. So here we go. And you guys are with me. You're the beginning. Thank you so much for coming and supporting me and watching my first scope. And, hopefully we can go on this journey together. Yeah, I will. I promise, Jay. I will talk to my doctor very soon and get checked out. And I need to do that anyway, just to get my physical done and, make sure that there are no restrictions for my training anyway. So that was it. I just wanted to share my story and share my little push from the universe. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. And, I'll be back on probably Saturday, if not Sunday, whenever I can get the little people away. And yes, you were one of the first people on my scope. Absolutely. You knew me back, and you'll be able to really say I knew you back when. But yeah, so I'll be back as soon as I can get the little people to be quiet long enough for me to scope. So it might even be Monday, who knows, because you know how they are. So thank you, ladies. I love you so much. And swipe and share with your followers, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.